Good morning, everyone. My name is John Rickzel Macalos from BSHM 3A, and I am here to report about the Philippine Tourism Law, Chapter 8, Law Regulating Accommodation Regulation. As for our learning objectives, we are here to identify the laws affecting the accommodation sector, identify the rights of the hotel guests, and explain how quality and safety standards are maintained by hotels and similar establishments by meeting minimum requirements of the law. And here is our topic outline. As you can see, we will start from nature and description of the business all the way to the general design and construction requirement. The Philippine tourism industry is the key economic driver but needs improvements to compete with ASEAN neighbors. A study assessed in competitiveness using 8 criteria, with the country ranking highest in human resources and price competitiveness. However, issues like infrastructure, accessibility, and security remain challenges. Tourist arrivals are steadily increasing, prompting the needs for hotel accommodations. Laws like the National Building Code play a crucial role in regulating establishments and ensuring tourism growth. Strengthening these areas will enhance the country's global tourism competitiveness. Nature and description of the business. Tourist accommodation businesses can be sole proprietorship, partnership, or corporations. As we can see here, this is the type of accommodation businesses. First, we have the hotel. It is a building, edifice, or premises which is used for the regular reception, accommodation, or lodging of travelers and tourists. Second, we have the resort. It is a place with a pleasant environment and atmosphere, conducive to comfort, healthful relaxation, and rest. It also offers food and sleeping accommodation, as well as recreational facilities to the public. Then we have the tourist inn. It is a lodging establishment catering to transients which does not meet the minimum requirement of an economy hotel. And then we have the apartheid, a building containing furnished or semi-furnished apartments, regularly leased to tourists and travelers for dwelling on a more or less long-term basis and offering basic services to its tenants similar to hotels. And then we have the pension house, a private or family operated tourist boarding house, guest house, or a tourist lodging house employing non professional domestic helpers, regularly catering to tourists and travelers. And lastly, we have the motorist hotel or motel. It is a building with several separate units, primarily located along the highway, with individual or common parking space, which motorists may obtain lodging. The next slide is about the classification of hotels based on a number of criteria. The criteria are the location, the bedroom facilities and furnishing, the front office or the reception service, the housekeeping standards, the food and beverage service, the recreation facilities, the engineering and maintenance, the service and staff, the general facilities, and finally the special facilities. Resorts. Resorts can be grouped according to their geographical setting and natural surroundings. It can be beach, inland, island, or lakeside or riverside resort. Then resorts are further classified based on the level of service, facilities, and amenities they offer. First, we have the Class AAA or the Class AAA, the highest standard offering luxury accommodations, world class facilities, excellent customer service, and premium amenities such as fine dining, spas, and recreational activities. As for the Class AA, high quality resorts with good accommodations and facilities but slightly less luxurious than the Class AAA. And finally, we have the Class A, which offers basic but comfortable accommodations and essential resort facilities. And then the special interest resort. It is a resort that caters to niche markets or unique experience such as eco resorts, adventure resorts, well retreats, or cultural heritage resorts. Just like hotels, resorts also has its own classifications. It has location and environment, parking, facilities and room accommodation, public washroom, sports and recreational activities, conference or convention facilities, employee facilities, lounge and reception counter, and lighting, furnishing, and or ventilation. Motorist hotel or motel. Aside from complying with the minimum requirement for the establishment's operation and maintenance of a motel, all motels are required to keep a motel registry book stating name, address, number, date, and place of issue of residence, certificate, or Class A or driver's license or passport. In addition, the motel management is required to maintain a separate logbook of the plate number of the vehicles or cars used for customer or guest coming into or leaving motels. No motels shall accept for lodging or accommodation any person below 18 years of age unless accompanied by a parent or a guardian. Accreditation of accommodation establishments by the Department of Tourism. Accreditation by the Department of Tourism, although not mandatory in nature, increases the marketability of an accommodation establishment. Any person, partnership, corporation, or other entity desiring to secure an accreditation from the Department of Tourism shall accomplish a certificate through copy of the Articles of Incorporation, its bylaws, Articles of Partnership and Amendments, Business Name Certificate, latest income tax return and audited financial statements, list of names of all officials and employees and their respective destinations, and finally, mayor's permit or municipal license. The certificate accreditation shall be valid for a period of 1 year from the date of issue unless sooner revoked by the department. Grounds for cancellation of accreditation. Grounds for accreditation issues include false statements, fraud or misrepresentation, non-compliance with accreditation conditions, failure to meet operational standards, allowing illegal or immoral activities, and violating department rules or orders. Responsibilities of accommodation establishments. Accommodation establishments must exercise due diligence not only in the selection of its employees but also in serving the needs of its customers. Failure to do so warrants the conclusion that the management had been remiss in complying the obligations with imposed upon hotel keepers under the law. Under Article 1170 of the new Civil Code, those who, in the performance of their obligations, are guilty of negligence are liable for damages. As to who shall bear the burden of paying damages, Article 2108, Paragraph 4 of the same code provides that the owners and the managers of an establishment or enterprise are likewise responsible for damages caused by their employees in the service of the branches in which the latter or are employed or on the occasions of their functions. National Building Code of the Philippines. The National Building Code of the Philippines contains up to date and modern technical knowledge on building design, construction use, occupancy, and maintenance. Section 104 General Building Requirements. All buildings or structures as well as accessory facilities thereto shall conform in all respects to the principle of safe construction and must be suited to the purpose for which they are designed. Buildings or structures intended to be used for the manufacture and or production of any kind or article or products shall be observed environmental safeguards. Buildings or structures and all parts thereof, as well as facilities found therein, shall be maintained in safe, sanitary, and good working condition. Section 105 Site Requirements: the land or site upon which will be constructed any building or structure or any ancillary or auxiliary facility thereto shall be sanitary, hygienic, or safe. In this case of sites or buildings intended for use as human habitation or abode, the same shall be at the safe distance as determined by competent authorities from streams or bodies of water or sources of air considered to be polluted from a volcano or volcanic site and or any other building considered to be potential source of fire or explosion. Building permits, Section 301 Building permits. No person, firm, or corporation, including any agency or instrumentality of the government, shall erect, construct, alter, repair, move, convert, or demolish any building or structure or cause the same to be done without first obtaining a building permit. Therefore, from the building official assigned in the place where the subject building is located or the building work is to be done. Section 302 Application for Permits. In order to obtain a building permit, the application shall file an application, therefore, in writing and on the prescribed form with the office of the building official. Every application shall provide at least the following information: description of the work to be covered by the permit applied for, description and ownership of the lot on which the proposed work is to be done as evidenced by the TCT and or copy of the contract of lease over the lot if applicant is not the registered owner, the use of the occupancy for which the proposed work is intended, and finally the estimated cost of the proposed work. General requirement of all building by use or occupancy. Section 704. Location or property. General. No building shall be constructed unless it adjoins or has direct access to the public space, yard, or street on at least one of its sites. Fire resistant of walls. Exterior walls shall have fire resistance and opening protection. Light and ventilation. Article 801. Light and ventilation buildings must ensure proper light and ventilation and face an approved street or alley. In Article 806, room sizes, habitable rooms 6 square centimeter, kitchen 3 square centimeter, and bath/toilet is 1.5 square centimeter. Article 807 airspaces requirements is as follows. Then Article 808 windows. Rooms without artificial ventilation must have windows covering at least 10% of the floor area opening to a court, street, or open space. In Article 811 artificial ventilation, ventilation systems must ensure at least 10 air changes per hour for certain spaces like bakeries, hotel kitchens, and boiler rooms. And for the sanitation, it is covered by the Section 901 general requirements. All buildings for human habitation must have a potable water, plumbing, wastewater treatment, drainage, pest control, noise avoidance, and other health safety measures. General design and construction requirement in section 1201 general requirements building must meet regulations or materials, design, construction, and occupancy. Structure design must follow the National Structure Code of the Philippines and the Civil Engineering Law to avoid any misdeeds. And that concludes my report. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you have learned something.